Okay, this video is on geometry word problems, so we're going to look at page 48 in your workbook, section 4.3, starting with triangles, sums of angles in a triangle. So the angles all add up to 180 degrees, as you've probably learned in the past. If not, you can kind of think of it like this. If you have a triangle and you could cut one out of paper, make this work a little better. But if you were to cut the tip of this one off and put it and move it down here, and cut the tip of this one and move it over here, you would end up with a straight line, which is 180 degrees. Okay, so for our purposes, we're going to be given a problem that has some information about the angles. So we have this example 4.12. The second angle of a triangle is 3 times as large as the first angle. The third angle is 30 degrees more than the first angle. So we have some relationships here. Find the measure of the angle. So I am trying to find a bunch of things, but I want to set my unknown. So I have to declare my unknown. I'm going to declare my unknown to be the thing I know the least about, which is the first angle. Okay, so that's what I know the least about. You might want to jot a note down there. Set unknown equal to what you know least about. So it's the less distracting, and then everything else is referencing that first angle, right? So I'm going to let the measure, which I use a little m, of the first angle equal x. Okay, the second angle, I'm just going to abbreviate this one. The measure, the second angle is 3 times bigger than that first one, so 3x, right? The third measure of the third angle, this little symbol is for angle, actually more like this, okay, equals x plus 30 in parentheses, okay, because it's 30 more than the first angle. So everything references back to that first angle. That's really important. Then I have some other information. I just know that all those angles need to add up to 180, right? So I would have the measure of angle 1, which I'm going to leave off the m now, but angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3, the measures of those equals 180. We agree on that, right? So now I have to fill in what is angle 1? Well, that's x. What is angle 2 is 3x. And angle 3 is x plus 30. And all that equals 180. Now, I did not need to distribute anything here. I don't have like 2 times the third angle or something like that. So I can go ahead and remove those. And then I can combine like terms. So I'm going to end up with, this is my part C. I'm going to end up with 5x equal plus 30. I'll write that. Plus 30 equals 180. And then we have 5x equals 150. Divide by 5, we get x equals 30 degrees, right? But now I'm not done. I have to reference back up here. So if the first angle is 30, so I have my D, I have to figure out the other measures. So the measures of the angles are, let's see, we have 30 degrees. 3 times 30 would be 90 degrees. And then the last one would be 30 plus 30, which would be 60 degrees. So I'm going to say 30, 60, 90. That's a kind of a common triangle that we use a lot. Okay, so I hope that helped and that you can know how to piece those together. There's not one similar to it here in the workbook, but there will be in homework and stuff like that. So the angles is, there we go. And then we have the next one, the last one for these 3 sections. So for this assignment set, we have perimeter of a rectangle. The formula for the perimeter of a rectangle is given by P equals 2W plus 2L. You've probably seen this before, but it's just adding up the sides, right? So I would have width. It's usually those on the ends, and then the length. And so perimeter is always just sum of the sides, right? So I would have L. We'll write the W first. I don't know why they don't have it in alphabetical, but W plus L plus L. So that's where we get this formula here. 2W plus 2L. We're just combining like terms. You may have also seen it like this, like having it as P equals 2 times W plus L. I don't know if you've seen that, but we're going to use this form right here. The width of a rectangle is 6 centimeters less than the length. Now remember, I've got to reference things back, and I have to get everything in terms of one variable so I can solve. If the perimeter is 52 centimeters, what are the dimensions of the rectangle? So I know the perimeter is 52. Okay, so I'm going to just get rid of this here. So we already have it up here. So P equals 52. That's good information. The width I could write as W equals 6 centimeters less than the length. So length minus 6. So that's what the width is. So I'm going to actually write out the word width. Okay, so here for part A, I'm going to write that let L equal the length, and then let L minus 6 equal the width. All right, so I'm going to write it like that. Then I know from my picture up here, I know that this width, right, is L minus 6. Now it's already put in the formula that if we use this formula here that we have, perimeter equals twice width plus twice length. Okay, so we want to be careful that we don't forget that, or that we don't double dip somehow. And it is important to put the parentheses around, especially here. So we're going to now plug in. So we know 52 is our perimeter. 2 is part of the formula, so just leave that. W, or width, right? Width W is this value here, L minus 6. So we're going to take that L minus 6 and sub it right in for W. Then the plus 2L, that's just part of the formula, right? So now we're going to distribute. You know how to do that math, I'm sure. So we have 52 equals 2L minus 12 plus 2L. You can pause and go ahead and finish this up if you want. I would have 52 equals 4L minus 12. Add 12 to both sides. I get 64 equals 4L, and L equals 16. And that is in centimeters. We get to track that, right? But I'm not quite done because I've only got the length. I need to also find the width. So I'm going to look back up here and figure out the width would be the L, which is 16, minus 6 is going to be 10 is my width, okay? So make sure you account for that. And then I'm going to write my answer in a sentence and just simply say something like the dimensions are, because that's kind of what how it was asked, are 16 centimeters by 10 centimeters. Okay. And the measures, I should say are. Okay, just fixing that sentence up there. So this is it for the geometry problems. As you go through your homework, if you're stuck on things, again, send me questions in either the comments if it's paper homework or the electronic homework. You can message instructor, just send me a message right through the system. That way I see the exact numbers that you were given in your version of the problem, because they're all different. And have a great day.